Creating an expense report. You can quickly create an expense report from the Quick Task bar on the SAP Concur homepage. In today's example, we'll create an expense report from the Quick Task bar by selecting Start a Report. On the Create New Report page, you can enter general information for your expense report. A red asterisk will appear next to the required fields, and you may notice that some fields may already be pre-populated. Enter in all of the required information and then select Create Report. However, if you have an approved travel request, you can also generate the report from the details in that request. For our example, we do already have an approved trip request waiting to be expensed. To link, click on Create from an approved travel request. Confirm, and then click on the request you wish to use. Create Request. This will generate the report to which you can add your expenses. Please note, expenses generated from travel card transactions will be added to the report separately once they post to Concur. Do not add travel card expenses here on this page like you would for any out-of-pocket costs. Please see the Adding Credit Card Transactions to an Expense Report video for further details. In this example, let's add our per diem meals to our expense report. To do so, click the Travel Allowance dropdown and select Manage Travel Allowance. With travel allowances, the university reimburses the traveler the fixed rate, no matter how much was actually spent. The location information in your travel request and subsequent expense report determines which travel allowance rates will be applied. If you specified the trip meals and deductions while creating your travel request, you can add the per diems from the available itineraries section here, which they will be listed below. In our example, we'll be creating the new itinerary as we're managing the per diem while expensing the trip. To do so, click on Create New Itinerary up at the top. Enter the information to the right for each stop, for the arrival and departure date and time for your destination, and adding in any other stops that may be applicable. In our example, we'll be departing from San Diego on January 8th at 9 a.m. and arriving in Las Vegas the same day at 10:30 a.m. To add this stop, we'll go down to the bottom right and hit Save. Now we'll add in our arrival back to San Diego, departing Las Vegas on January 12th at 5 p.m. and same day, arriving back in San Diego at 6:30 p.m. Again, we'll want to add that to our itinerary by saving. And let's double check the information for accuracy. Once we have, we'll go ahead and save the whole thing. Click Next. Click No, as we've already saved our changes. Now you can see that the arrival and departure has been added to our assigned itineraries and has been linked to our expense report. From here, let's click Next. You will see a list of per diem amounts for this trip based on your travel itinerary. On the screen that we're on, the Expenses and Adjustments page, you can make adjustments to reduce your specific travel allowances. Select the Exclude box on the left to exclude any days that you are on a personal leave. In this example, we were not on any personal leave for any day of the trip. Select the Breakfast, Lunch, or Dinner Provided boxes for any meals that were provided to you free of charge. For example, when a meal is provided by the event attended or included as any part of your hotel stay. In our example, let's say that breakfast was provided by the conference on these days. You can see on the allowance that any of the deductions have been automatically removed from the total. Once we've adjusted all of the expenses and made sure we are accurate with that, we'll go ahead and create the expenses. Now we can see that our daily allowances were shown as separate entries in our expense report. If an expense does not fall under a travel card transaction or one of these per diem amounts, you can select Add Expense to add another out-of-pocket expense to the report. You can select from a list of available expenses, ones you may have used in the past, or you can create a new expense. Select the Create New Expenses tab and then select the most appropriate expense type. In our example, we'll have paid for a parking expense out of pocket, so that is what we'll search for. Select the expense type. From the New Expense screen, you can enter details about the expense. Other features include allocating your expense to different projects or departments, and from the Itemizations tab, you can itemize expenses to ensure each total is accounted for correctly. Complete the appropriate fields. Again, red asterisks will note a required field. This is a required field here, as any out-of-pocket expense will need a comment on the business purpose. We'll also want to add a receipt for any transactions. Click on Upload New Receipt, and then select your file. Once we've uploaded the receipt, the image will live on the expense page. Once we've completed all of the information, let's go ahead and save our expense. A new expense line has been created. On this screen, you can edit or delete your expense, copy it to make a new expense quickly, allocate it to another department or project, or move it to another request or report. When you have added all of your out-of-pocket, card, and allowance expenses, and you are ready to submit to manager for approval, select Submit Report. You've now created and submitted an expense report.